There's been a lot of data reported on where's the money going into digital health. And I think what's interesting right now is that there is really a different ways of looking at the market. One is that if you look at a graphic there where you go from acute to fitness, if you can visualize that. And most of the activity that you hear in the press is really young entrepreneurs developing products to keep you fit and healthy. The problem of that space is that we haven't figured out who's going to pay for this in a sustainable basis there. And what I believe is really where the opportunity is to go after the acute to chronic disease. And that means this has to work within the healthcare system. It has to be in a hospital setting or taking care of you at home. There's a concept that maybe we need to move the hospital's capability into the home. Well, how far do we want to go with that? But really, the model is not scalable right now of how we do healthcare. So we're going to be changing healthcare delivery. So sophisticated investors who now needs a lot of expertise because they need to understand IT technology as well as healthcare delivery, they're really betting heavily on clinical decision support tools at the point of care, which is to really enable the physicians to decrease what's called the variability of care. The fact that if we see 3 different physicians, we may get 3 different types of recommendations there. No, it should not happen anymore unless it's really a difficult case. And so it's really bringing the expertise to the physicians so that he can make the best decision with the information he has, still having that connectivity with the patient there. So there's a lot of investment in that space. Then there is a lot of investment into managing patient and in chronic disease. And it is a new category that's emerging called mobile therapeutics or e-therapeutics. There's all different words there. And the idea is that could you as a physician get an app or a technology-enabled services that will allow you to recommend to your patients, and so you can prescribe them, so it will be reimbursed by a payer. And to do that, you need things that may be regulated by the FDA, which some of these apps now being regulated to provide some quality there. They need to have market data to show that they're having impact. It's not the clinical trials like we're familiar with, but it's more like market effectiveness trials. So I think you see a lot of activities in those kind of companies there. Another category is the data transparency. The data transparency is then taking this knowledge that's in all these silos and bringing it at the point of people make a decision. And it's not only the clinicians that we talked a bit earlier at the point of care, but it's also the patient. So there's a company called Castlight that went public, and Castlight used the information from the self-insured employers to basically help you if you need to do an X-ray in the San Francisco Bay Area, or let's say an MRI, and they show you that in a 30 miles radius, you may have a difference between $500 to $5,000. And what's the best value? And I think this is the data transparency that drives change your behavior at the time you need to make a decision.